America is not a racist country.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's another story of a man that was wrongfully convicted and spent 24 years behind bars for something he did not do. And a lead police detective actually knew he was innocent, but he threatened a witness to take the stand against Sean Williams. Years later, the witness recanted their story. So you should ask yourself, okay, then why wasn't this corrupt police detective arrested? See, when you find out that information was coerced or withheld, or the judge and prosecutor was in on the fact that this innocent person went to jail, they should go to jail because, they're criminals. But because these things are happening exclusively and most times to us, it happens to us more than anyone else, especially black men. They don't see the need to fix this. See, your Congress, they know this is going on. Your senators know this is going on, and they push zero legislation to shut it down. Why? Because even if it's wrong, they're making a ton of money even off of fake convictions in America. They still make tons of money, hand over fist money. So, no, in their opinion, yes, it's tragic, but we won't stop it from happening because look at all this financial gain we're getting from this. Just know that the people that run things in this country, they don't give a rat's behind about doing the right thing. They are only concerned about doing what's right in order to benefit them. But all other things are not important to them at all. See, it's okay to do, but not okay to talk about. All right, so I feel bad. There is nothing that can be done to give him back those 24 years that were lost. So he just won in federal court $10.5 million for his wrongful conviction. So at the time, this is Sean Williams with his fist up. He was only 19 when he was charged with killing a man in Brooklyn, New York, and this was in 1993, and it was based on a woman's testimony. She was threatened by a detective to give that testimony. There was no forensic evidence that connected Williams to the murder at all. But this woman was threatened to go on the stand and say that she saw him on the scene with a gun. So in August of 1994, Williams was convicted for the fatal shooting in Crown Heights neighborhood, and he was sentenced to 25 years to life for something he never did. Years later, the woman, she recanted, accusing the Sean here, and she revealed that the homicide detective Louis Scarcella coerced her into naming Williams, and he always maintained his innocence the entire time. Mm-mm-mm. So, ladies and gentlemen, Williams was released from prison in 2018 after the case was finally thrown out. And see, here's the thing, you should not throw the case out and not punish the people that did this in the first place? Why wasn't Scarcella placed under arrest? What about the prosecution and the judge? Why are they not arrested when so many innocent people are going through their courtrooms and getting convicted for crimes they never committed? Now, do people commit crimes? Of course they do. But you should not have this astronomical amount of innocent people in your jails. This is why I will never support your system. You can't rig up a system and then expect everybody to rally around you and support the system. Now, you will support it because you're corrupt people. You have showed your corruption for many centuries now. So, of course, you'll support it. You'll have no problem with that. So, I'm glad, ladies and gentlemen, recently New York City officials have reached a $10.5 million settlement with Williams and his civil rights lawsuit against Scarcella and two other officers. The Times says it believes that it's the largest settlement so far in a number of wrongful conviction cases resulting from Scarcella's improper conduct as a police detective. Yeah, but what did you do to Scarcella? Yeah, Loretta, they didn't do nothing to Scarcella. So what did you do to Scarcella other than a lawsuit? They said this man was involved with numerous wrongful convictions. So I guess he was just trying to throw anybody in there just to make it seem like he was resolving so many cases, and then they would continue to promote him and give him all kinds of raises that he never deserved in the first place. He should have been kicked out head first for all the amount of lying he was doing in his position, but that's only in a righteous place. Place is not righteous. So since then, more than a dozen convictions resulting from Scarcella's investigation has been tossed out. And the city had to pay millions of dollars to settle civil rights suits linked to his cases. Several suits are still pending. In fact, there are more than 70 cases handled by Scarcella have fallen under scrutiny after Brooklyn prosecutors launched a sweeping probe into his record, and a number of these inquiries are still ongoing. Wow. I mean, this happened in the 90s, and y'all are just jumping in here and looking at Scarcella's record? Wow. According to the Times, Scarcella, who retired from the police department in 1999. Wow. So he got to retire and probably got some big fat pension somewhere. And he never had to spend a day in jail over going after a bunch of innocent people and jailing them. And I went and looked. The majority of them are black males that the Scarcella framed. You should not be surprised. You should not be surprised. So, Scarcella, who had a high profile in New York City, worked as a Brooklyn crime unit. That's where he worked. He worked in the crime unit and handled more than 500 homicides a year. But his reputation began to crumble in 2013 after defense attorneys accused him of, rigging up a lot of these cases and lying about a lot of things when it came down to the defendants. So it started unraveling them, but look at how long it took them, y'all. All right. So this man retired in 99, and it didn't start unraveling about the things he was doing until 2013. Wow. Y'all really slow to move when it's one of your own. So, a defense attorney accused him of framing a suspect in a highly publicized investigation into a murder of a Hasidic rabbi in Williamsburg. Mm-mm-mm. So, since then, more than a dozen convictions resulting from Scarcella's investigation have been tossed out. And wow, that is a shame. I feel sorry for anybody that got caught up in this Scarcella. As far as I'm concerned, they should take his pension. That man don't deserve one red cent for doing lousy work. The newspaper reported that Williams' case is an example of police abuses increasingly under scrutiny as the city and a nation reckon with the ethics and practice of law enforcement. Williams' case was vacated in 2018 amid a series of other exonerations in New York and other states, several involving police and prosecutor misconduct between the 1980s and 90s. Trust me, you've been doing it long before then. Sean has been through the fire for nearly 30 years. This is according to one of his attorneys. Um, it's satisfying to see him come out the other side with his name cleared and some reparations for his ordeal. And see, this is what I'm saying. We don't have to go to the past to find all of the wrongdoing that's being done. We can look at plenty of examples that go on to this present day. We don't have to, there's tons of things that y'all still do to this very day that we can justify reparations on. But I'm glad Sean Williams finally got a settlement for everything he's gone through. He really should have got a million years for each. I'm sorry, $1 million for each year he had to wrongfully sit behind bars so that these folks can gain financially off of that wrongful conviction. And, $10.5 million is not nearly enough for everything that he has lost. And you also got to think about cases in many other states where they will release someone that was wrongfully convicted and won't give them one red cent. They got the laws all rigged up and everything. It's just amazing. This place sucks. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.